passenger aircraft carrying over 130 passengers took off from the Ahmedabad airport. It was en route London. The destination was London. We are getting more details on that. This is the visual. This is near the Ahmedabad airport. Remember, barely minutes.
To a crash line this will take? All right, I think I've lost Mr. Sivaraman. Captain Sam Thomas, do you want to just take this question? How long do you think an investigation of a crash of this nature may take? How quickly can we get to the bottom of what happened?
The DGCA would allocate this investigation to the Air Accident Investigation Board, AAIB, and they would put out a preliminary report in about 30 days. And thereafter, based on whatever information they are able to gather from the engine manufacturer, from the OEM, that's Boeing, and may take assistance of other investigative agencies, because not very many qualified investigators are there in India, and it should take about a year. That's my experience with air accident investigation, and it generally takes about a year at least.
Currently, of course, rescue operations are the chief priority, and all of the ministries concerned, including the Home Ministry and the Civil Aviation Ministry, are concerned only with that. Those are hospital visuals also coming in. There seem to be some who are injured, but we're unsure whether they are passengers who have been brought in an injured situation, or these are people who were in the buildings surrounding where the crash took place. Because the unfortunate part is, Captain Thomas, is that this flight actually crashed into buildings, and unfortunately we're getting updates that the buildings that it crashed into had MBBS doctors, resident doctors, etc. staying in that hostel.
Very tragic, very tragic. It does happen that when an airplane crashes and in a thickly populated area, there would be collateral damage on ground as well. It's very, very unfortunate, and unfortunately, that is the nature of the beast, and very little we can do about.
जो है ना उसमें आई है वहाँ से वैसे सही किया कि वो दूसरी फ्लाइट में आई है। दो लोग और भी हैं नीचे वाले।
नहीं एक मिनट रुकिए मैं करता हूँ आपको फोन करता हूँ हाँ बस वही है मेरे पास अभी
For aviation in general and Air India in particular and Indian aviation, my heart goes out to many of my former colleagues who've probably on that aircraft as well as in the company. Prayers and thoughts with them. Very tragic, and it's pretty certain, or it appears to be that either the aircraft had major engine failure, whether it's through ingestion of birds or just stalling. But you can see loss of power and the aircraft dropping, like Devesh was saying earlier. The 787 is one of the most sturdy aircraft which has not had any fatalities or any accidents like this so far in its history. This aircraft is only 11 and a half years old. So again, a very new aircraft. Like he said also that Air India aircrafts are very well maintained engineering wise. So that should not have been a problem. The pilots were very well experienced, more than 10,000 hours between them. So, really one is left scratching his head trying to figure out what could have been at the bottom of these two engines failing and the aircraft sinking. Also, it's rammed into a building which is a medical college and a medical college hostel. It was afternoon time, and we believe the lunch mess must have been full of kids who were studying in that hostel. So I worry about what may have happened over there. Part of the aircraft tail seems to have been lost.
पूरे ही गए होंगे जबरदस्त मोटी आँख है जबरदस्त मोटो फड़ गई
400 to 500 feet per minute for an aircraft of that size.
I just want to understand from you, these bird ingestion issues that you're talking about, how frequent are they?
Bird ingestion are infrequent, but there is always that risk, especially in airfields like Ahmedabad and Baroda and some other airfields. Ahmedabad has historically had bird activity in and around the airfield. So I am not saying that it could have been a bird hit, but the fact that the pilots gave a mayday and we see the aircraft climb to max altitude on flight radar close to 625 feet, which would be about 425 feet off the ground. The airfield elevation is about 200 at Ahmedabad. So they did climb to 420.
Loss of one engine should not lead to a crash like this.
Otherwise, with just one engine, also the aircraft can climb out
at 400 to 500 feet per minute for an aircraft of that size.
I just want to understand from you, these bird ingestion issues that you're talking about, how frequent are they?
Bird ingestion are infrequent, but there is always that risk, especially in airfields like Ahmedabad and Baroda and some other airfields. Ahmedabad has historically had bird activity in and around the airfield. So I am not saying that it could have been a bird hit, but the fact that the pilots gave a mayday and we see the aircraft climb to max altitude on flight radar close to 625 feet, which would be about 425 feet off the ground. The airfield elevation is about 200 at Ahmedabad. So they did climb to 420.
Loss of one engine should not lead to a crash like this.
Of an Air India aircraft, because even for the crash to happen, it means barely seconds. Something happened that the pilot was not able to even. Smoke that we see from this aircraft heading to London is what we are told.